Hey guys, and welcome back to Series 3, Episode 3 of the house videos.
House videos, not renovation?
Yep, there's not a lot of renovating going on in this video, it's more just house.
More about the house.
More about the house.
That is because we've got a video which is going to be slightly different than normal because we are going to be installing our very own home security system, and specifically the eufysecurity wire-free security camera with 4K Ultra HD and solar power, which basically means we get two eufyCam 3s and also the brand new HomeBase 3.
And we'd like to say a huge thank you to eufysecurity for making this video happen.
So pretty much since we got this house, one thing I said I was going to do was to install our own home security system. Now, both me and Holly knew what we wanted in a home security system, but nothing on the market ever really seemed to do what we wanted it to do. And recently, eufysecurity got in contact with us and asked us to check out their latest security products, and they've actually pretty much ticked all of the boxes we were after. It's got 4K Ultra HD video, basically meaning it's clear day and night. The cameras are wireless with built-in batteries, and also they've got built-in solar panels, so they classify it as forever power, and everything those cameras capture is stored locally, so it's not being sent to the cloud with no hidden awkward fees and awkward costs or anything like that. Okay, so when we first open the box, we are greeted with a nicely presented display with two Eufy S330 cameras and the HomeBase 3. If we take a closer look at one of the cameras, we can see that the main body is made out of white plastic. And on the top, we can see the built-in solar panel. Now, these cameras are wireless and contain a 13,000 mAh battery, which only needs about 2 hours of sunlight per day to maintain charge with their forever power system. On the front, we can see the 4K UHD camera, a spotlight, infrared sensor, motion sensors, and two microphones. And on the underneath of the camera, we can see the speaker, and on the back, we can see the mounting point, the sync button, and also that USB-C charging port. The size is about 13 centimeters long, which is about 5 inches, and about 6.5 centimeters wide, which is about 2.5 inches. Basically, it's about the size of a regular iPhone. Alright, next up we have the HomeBase 3, which is the brains behind this security system, and it contains 16 gigabytes of internal storage. And the best thing about this HomeBase 3 is the fact that everything is stored locally, which means your data is not sent anywhere or even to a cloud server. On the back we can see two USB ports which we can use to charge the cameras if needed. One Ethernet port, the power port, and also a sync button. Underneath we have the reset button for this HomeBase 3 and also the internal speaker. And the top grey section is magnetic. When removed, we can see where we can add our own external hard drive if we want to store more footage than just that built-in 16 gigabytes. The next thing we find in the box are the two wall mounts for the cameras. These mounts can actually articulate to get the camera into the correct position. I really like that they also included two positioning stickers which can help us get the screw holes for these mounts in the correct place when we're mounting the actual cameras. We then get an array of paperwork, including a quick start guide, and also a big sticker that we can put on our window to say that we are surveying the area. We then find the screws for the camera mount and also the power cord, which actually comes with a UK and EU adapter. And also we find the USB to USB-C charging cable, which we can use to charge the cameras, and a really nice white flat Ethernet cable. And finally we have some super tiny screws which are used if you want to expand the storage and insert our own hard drive into that HomeBase 3.
So the first thing to do to get the system up and running is to plug the HomeBase 3 into power and then connect it directly to your router. Or you can do what we've done and connect it to a Wi-Fi extender with the Ethernet cable provided. So we already have the eufysecurity app installed and we already have one camera connected, and I'm just going to show you how quick it is to connect a camera because it is very quick. So press the plus, then press the camera, select the home, and then it says keep the camera and the home base within 1 meter, yep. And then
press the sync button until you hear the beep.
Press the sync button until we hear a beep. Beep.
Ready to add device.
Now, I don't know if you can hear this, but it makes the most high-pitched sound, which is really awful in my opinion, but I don't know if the camera will pick it up. And then it just takes a little... There we go, and after a little while of thinking, it's all added, and then we just have to pick a name. Let's just say front door. Added successfully. And that was that. And then it goes on to say about charging. You just need to make sure it's fully charged before you go and mount it outside. Okay. So someone's been spotted. Okay, so we go through all of this and then it gives you tips on how to mount it, how high it needs to be, it needs to be level. And then we get to a really useful screen where it shows, I can't cope. I can hear my voice back and it's really putting me off. So as you can tell now that there is going to be two-way communication because it has a built-in mic. That's where you can hear me through the app. So when setting up the camera, this screen is really useful as it shows the Wi-Fi signal strength. So you can make sure when you position your camera that you're within the Wi-Fi range. So before we mount this permanently, we thought we needed to do a little bit of testing further down the garden because we definitely have some intruders at night.
Because that is not our cat.
When using the infrared mode, we can see it does a pretty good job of capturing motion at night. Keep in mind that it is pitch black where we are. And it is quite interesting to see the amount of activity in our garden. It's even managed to pick up the motion of whatever this is running around. We did turn the motion sensitivity to its highest setting, so it even notified us of some birds having a snack.
And here we can see a side-by-side at night, one with the infrared turned on and the other with the colour night vision with that spotlight turned on. And why don't you let us know in the comment section down below which do you think is the best? And it does do a really good job of capturing the motion. However, we had a couple of false detections and this was the funniest one. A piece of wood that had been on the floor for days and had not moved was triggered as a pet. So I was just about to say that is enough looking at the wildlife in the day and in the night, and we're going to come outside and actually properly mount this camera to the outside of the house. But we've come across another cat, another pet, which isn't ours. And she's quite feisty. She wants to play, and she's basically stopping us from from actually putting this camera up. But we can't be playing with cats all day. Okay, so a couple of minutes later and that camera is now properly mounted to the outside of our house, and I'm really happy with this positioning. We're very lucky here because the sun basically hits this side of the house pretty much all day. You only need about 2 hours of sunlight to actually give this camera forever power. So we should never ever really in theory have to take this camera down and give it any charge because we're always going to get sunlight directly hitting that camera. And I think another real standout feature is the fact that it has Bionic Mind AI built into the actual system. Now that is just a very fancy way of saying that it can tell the difference between different types of motion, from humans to vehicles and even pets. And then when we get notified, we know exactly what type of motion has been detected. And then when we jump into the app and actually go onto the events folder, we can actually see everything that has been broken up, and everything is then broken up into each individual day. And then we can easily see what motion has been captured. So on the left hand side we can see all the different thumbnails, and then next to that, through that AI system, it is then broken down what has actually been captured, so it knows the difference between both me and Hollie, and also it can detect pets like I said as well. So we look at this clip here, we can see that there is a pet walking around, and that is the cat which has been captured on that camera.
So I actually love pet detection, mainly because we don't have any pets yet, but it's so nice to get a notification saying there's a little pet running around your garden.
And we should probably point out here that we did actually turn the detection sensitivity all the way up to make sure that we were notified for any form of motion, but you can actually reduce this and even go into the detection type and turn on and off those specific different types of detection. You can even add in activity zones if you only want to capture certain parts of the camera's footage and avoid other errors, for instance if you live near a busy road.
So along with the ability to recognise pets, there is also the ability for it to recognise familiar faces. However, I need to point out that the default will be the most unflattering picture of you, but there is an option to go in and change your picture, which James has done, and I haven't. I do look like I'm about to sneeze. So you can upload other people's pictures to the system so it knows them before they're even caught on camera. When it starts recognising faces and even bodies, we can go in and tell the AI whether it is correct or not, and this actually makes it more accurate in the future. And I mean, just look at some of these faces. So for me, this really does give me peace of mind because I'll know ahead of time if it's someone I know coming up to my front door or not. And this should in theory mean I'll never miss a delivery again.
Delivery! I mean, this is a really bad impression of a delivery driver.
So if there is someone walking up to your house, for instance a delivery driver, and you want to actually speak to them and not answer the door, you can actually use the app with the built-in two-way communication and project your voice through the speaker on the actual camera. The camera also has 2 microphones built into it, so they can actually talk back to you.
Hello madam, it's me again. Second attempt with the delivery. Wanna come down and answer the door?
No thanks, can you leave it on the floor please?
Have a nice day.
And you can also set it up if the camera detects any motion that a spotlight turns on, or even a siren which actually projects a very, very loud warning sound out of the actual camera. And alternatively, you could have it set up so the actual HomeBase does a siren noise as well. And having everything it captures stored locally is a huge bonus for us because that basically means there is no hidden monthly fees. But if you actually don't want to store the stuff locally and you actually do want it to be stored on the cloud, then that is also something that they can offer you through the actual app.
So overall, we are really pleased with having the Eufy security system installed in our home.
It has really given us peace of mind, both when we are at home and even when we are away from home, that we can basically keep our eye on it. And also, if you have older or other Eufy security products, you can actually link them back to that HomeBase 3 so they can all benefit from those latest AI features.
And the only issue that we have really found is due to our internet not being that great, and there is a little bit of a delay on the live streaming and the two-way communication.
But overall, we honestly have really enjoyed it, and if you want to pick this Eufy security system up or find out any more information, you can click the links in the description down below. And again, a huge thank you for Eufy Security for making this video happen.
We really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed because we have a load more house videos on the way.